Hey guys, this is Welcome to Adulting. This is the podcast that I'm convinced at this point is just a way for people to point out all the things that I'm bad at. This week we're going to be talking about dating. So now everyone gets to hear about my amazing and uneventful dating life. I'm John.
I'm Shawna.
And I'm Caleb.
And we're going to be talking about dating this week. I am not looking forward to this, but that's okay. That's what we signed up for when we got a podcast. So we're going to be talking about dating, specifically first dates, which is the only kind of date that I'm familiar with. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to start on something that's a little bit more upbeat, something that's a little bit happier. Let's talk about some adulting wins this week, things that we are good at. So let's start with you, Caleb. How have you adulted this week?
Yes, so yesterday after small group, my wife and I, as we were on our way home, we realized that we had a really chill weekend and we didn't do any grocery shopping for the week or anything. And our favorite grocery store was closing in 20 minutes. So we pulled up and we completed a week's worth of grocery shopping in 15 minutes and stayed below budget.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's impressive.
I feel like my grocery shopping normally takes me a lot longer than that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's normally a couple hours and go into multiple stores.
It was kind of like the need, though, for breakfast in the morning and things like that.
That'll do it.
Pushed us.
That'll really do it.
I give you credit because I probably would have gone through like Dunkin' Donuts and got coffee and a sandwich and then shopped later.
Yeah, but I don't know. We just like this one grocery store by us, and we knew that it was closing soon thanks to smartphones. So we just had to get there.
Is it a chain that has slightly discounted everything that I'm thinking of?
It is.
That we don't want to give the name for?
That's correct.
Because if they want us to promote them, they can give us money?
It is the ultimate adulting grocery store, but I will not give you a name.
Yeah, it's the one that I go to a lot as well. And I spend way too much time because they have like weird, fun, different products there all the time.
And it closes way too early.
And it closes way too early. But it's my favorite thing to shop at different grocery stores and look at all of the different like crazy fun products that they have and new stuff. So I would definitely have taken, and I normally do take way more than 15 minutes in a store like that. And you guys were shopping for two people, so good job.
Yeah,
way to go.
And if you haven't listened to our grocery store podcast, grocery shopping podcast, they really should go back and listen to that.
Yeah. And if you have listened, listen again. Give us more listens, you know? So, yeah, good job. Shawna, how about you? How have you adulted this week?
I did like 12 loads of laundry today, which I know. So here's the thing. There's a picture going around social media and it says like wash time 30 minutes, dry time 20 minutes, return time 7 to 10 business days. That is 100% my life. Out of all of the house chores, laundry is my least favorite. So I'm pretty proud that I forced myself to wash, dry, and put away everything.
Is Monday your laundry day?
Usually it's the day after my husband gets annoyed with the pile. So that's laundry day.
So the pile determines it. For me, it's when I run out of like socks or underwear that I realize I need to start going. You know, like I have my backup supply of like less good stuff. And so that's when I kind of realize it's like a little over a week. But
the socks with the holes in the heels.
Maybe I'm too new at this married thing, but if I were annoyed at a pile, my wife would say, well, go do the laundry. So maybe I'm just too new to this thing.
Well, when we first got married, he would not let me do his laundry at all. He was afraid I was going to shrink stuff. Yeah, so we've come a long ways where I get to actually do his laundry, and it's not always like returned at a great time.
is it the actual washing and drying of the laundry, or is it the folding? Because that's the thing that takes me the longest. I get it done, and then it's just like I keep it in the hamper for forever, and it's just clean clothes in a hamper.
That's my favorite part. We need to do a laundry episode.
We do. We really do.
Because here's the thing. If you fold it right as it comes out of the dryer, it's going to not be wrinkly. It's going to smell great. It's nice and warm, which I love. But then I throw it in the clean hamper, and it sits there, and then they get all wrinkled. So then I have more work because then I have to iron. I'm just setting myself up for failure.
Are we the only ones that air dry, my wife and I? We air dry like everything.
How?
We do like the main stuff.
We bought like 1 million dryer racks.
In your house?
Yeah.
Oh, man, no.
With fans.
Again.
I just don't have...
We can do a whole episode
space
on this, but...
We're gonna
we should.
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to do an episode on laundry good for you for getting it all done. I feel like getting 2 loads done is an accomplishment, so I can't. 12 sounds like an absolute nightmare.
I'm not exaggerating. You can look at my pictures later on Facebook.
I believe you.
Did you wash?
Bad.
Did you wash your pillows though?
Not today.
We're not getting into this again. This is not.
All right, John, how did you win?
Yeah, so we got paid on Thursday. This month is kind of weird with how the paychecks fall. So we normally get about 2 a month. This month we get 3, and this is the first month that I don't have my student loan payment anymore. So my immediate thought is I want to buy everything and just get a bunch of fun stuff like a new TV, a new coffee grinder, stuff like that. But I sat down, I kind of budgeted it out, figured out what needed to go where. I still do owe my dad a little bit of money, so I figured out how I'm going to be paying him stuff. I'm going to be doing some extra stuff with my gym, so I figured out that kind of stuff. So I planned out my money. I'm not going to be wasting it all on, a nice 50-inch TV instead of my 32-inch. I want something 4K so bad. But I thought it out, planned it out. So I budgeted, which was really nice. I don't know how well I'm going to stick to that budget because I'm really bad at sticking to it. But even having that framework is really helpful for me.
Yeah, just wait, man. 8K is coming out. 4Ks will be a little bit cheaper in a couple months.
But then I'm going to want an 8K TV is the thing.
Oh, just wait. Nothing's shot in 8K. So you don't need
It's not just
8K
for the
TV.
things that are shot in 8K. It's for... the PS5 is going to come out in a year or so.
Sorry, Shawna, this is nerd
and
talk.
that might
I don't even know what this means.
That might
I
be
don't.
8K. This is our new podcast where Caleb and I just talk about TVs and video games.
And you teach me.
And we teach Shawna about 8K TVs. It's
So 4K is like the level above HD TV, so 1080p.
Okay.
And then 8K is the level above 4K.
Can I just admit that I don't really see a difference? But
when you see them side by side, you notice the difference.
Okay.
You'll notice. Especially with
on a serious note,
with video games and stuff, you'll notice the difference. This is a serious note.
No.
This is a very serious note.
but seriously, good job on budgeting and not spending it.
Plus, I'm just going to wait a little bit, see, kind of shop sales, be smart about when I do eventually buy a TV. So in a couple weeks, there might be a new adulting win of me buying a new TV, but we'll see. Yeah, that's my win.
Nerd talk.
Nerd talk with John, Caleb, and
Brought
Shawna.
to you by...
I still want to show where Caleb and I describe things that we like to someone who doesn't know what they are. We just need a spin-off podcast. So, hey, maybe if you like this show, let us know if you'd like some sort of spin-off podcast. Go to Facebook, Welcome to Adulting Podcast. Search us on there, search us on Instagram, or just go to welcometoadultingpod.com. Tell us what other spin-off podcasts you'd like us to produce, and let us know if you have any adulting wins. We'd love to share those as well. Also, go on to Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening. Leave us a rating or review on there. You can share your adulting win in the review as well. I don't have any adulting wins this week, so we didn't collect them.
It's fine. We don't have to have one every week.
Yeah, normally we like to share them. I didn't adult this week and didn't look for one. So next week or sometime in the coming weeks, I'll adult and we'll find an adulting win. So help make that a little bit easier on me. Share your adulting win on Facebook.
Or on Apple.
Or on Apple Podcasts.
Instagram.
You can email us at welcometoadultingpod@gmail.com, I believe. I think that's a thing. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's a thing. If not, we'll edit this out so it doesn't matter. So, yeah, let us know your adulting win, and we'd love to share it with you. So, yeah, stay tuned. We're going to be coming back in just a minute, and we're going to be talking about dating and first dates and why I am miserable at them. So, stay tuned. Hey guys, it's John from Welcome to Adulting. One of the biggest things we want to do with this podcast is encourage you, and if you're looking for more encouragement, I would really suggest you go to thefamily.net. There you can find all sorts of resources, you can find music, you can find plenty of articles and things to really encourage you. Check it out. You'll find a lot of encouragement there, just like you find on our show. Welcome back to Welcome to Adulting. As we said before the break, we're going to be talking about first dates. Real talk right now. I have never had any sort of serious relationship before. I've been on a few dates, but never a second date. So I want to kind of throw it to you guys, specifically Shawna. What am I doing wrong? Why will no one go out with me?
You're not doing anything wrong. You just got to find the right person.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to say I'm a pretty good catch. So I don't know why people won't go on a second date with me. because I think my dates are pretty awesome, and I think I'm pretty awesome, but apparently I'm doing something wrong. So,
Do you say that in your first date?
oh, of course, it's the first thing I do.
Okay.
I want them to know how great I am.
When
That's
was
the
your
point of
last
dates.
date, John?
About a year ago, I think. Yeah, about a year ago. Around Christmas last year, we went to these like nice Christmas light things, and then we got some dessert afterwards, and yeah, it was really fun, really nice. But
Where did you meet her?
at the Christmas lights display
Okay.
thing, so it was like an outdoor thing. So
You should try taking a cooking class. Maybe you'll meet someone there.
I mean, I don't need to take a class. I'm already better than everyone at it. So
Its only purpose is to meet somebody.
I don't know, but
I think
mean,
that's a good place to start.
okay.
Is location, because I feel like when you're not in school anymore or college, it's probably really difficult to meet people.
It is. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm going to throw it to you guys who are much more experienced with, much more successful, I should say, at dating. Yeah, how do you guys, I don't even know what I'm trying to ask. Caleb, save me. Dates, how do you do them?
Yeah.
What are they?
Well, first dates are always, they seem like really tough dates, at least for guys. I don't know about you, Shawna. Like the expectations for the first date really define a lot of potentially a second date. But why are first dates so intimidating to so many people?
I mean, it's awkward because you're not comfortable with them yet. And it's like an obvious, like, I like you, that's why we're here. But I think there are some simple steps that at least women appreciate that men can do to make the first date easier. Should we kind of go through those?
Well, I've got another question for you then, because I think
Okay.
maybe I know one of them, and I did not do it.
Is one of them get down on one knee and break out a ring?
No.
No,
Never on the first date.
that's the third date.
So
John.
don't be doing
that's
that.
that's
okay.
the third.
There's
date.
one
So,
one thing I've been doing wrong.
but is one of them asking them out for the first date in person? Because I saw a survey recently that's one of the big things that women, specifically Christian women, are tired of, is like Christian men not asking them out in person.
But I mean, like, and is that big of a deal?
Apparently,
because
they did a whole article on it.
I mean, I'm asking more like you and Shawna, but like, is that as big of a deal? If it's so, for instance, if I were to like call them up and like just do a phone call or something like that, is that similar to face to face? Because sometimes you don't see the person a lot. Or if you do, then it's in a group setting where it's weird to ask them out in front of people. So is that okay? Like, obviously don't text them out or like Facebook message them, but is like a phone call okay? I don't know. Asking for a
I think
friend.
a phone call is totally fine.
Yeah.
I think that you should not like sound dorky, but practice what you want to say so you don't stumble over your words and you can be calm and cool and collected. The whole texting thing, I actually know people who are in super positive, healthy relationships right now, and their first date was through a text, and it was like them getting to know each other first. And then he was like, so do you mind if I ask you out sometime through a text? And I think that this is a way for the girl to not be put on the spot and she can think about it, but then to call to do the actual date details. So this is when I'll pick you up. Is this where you want to go? That kind of thing. So I think the whole text to a degree is totally fine, but calling is way more personal.
So like text to say, hey, would you ever want to do this? And then when you actually plan it out, give them a call or talk face to face. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because
Only if
you're
she
not putting her on the
responds.
spot.
Yeah.
If she doesn't respond, then I don't know. But
If she doesn't respond, then
Then
she
you don't have
probably
to-
doesn't want to hurt your feelings.
yeah, then you don't have to worry about
You
it.
don't have to worry about going on a first date. You don't have to listen to the rest of this podcast. Turn it off. It's fine.
Well, and don't be bummed out if that person doesn't, because then it wasn't meant to be. And it's just one more step to finding your meant to be person.
Yeah, so just a little bit of openness. My wife and I, we actually met online. And it did start with chatting on the app, which then led to texting, and then it led to a phone call. And so, Shawna, I don't know if you remember where your first date was with your husband, but I remember my first date was at 7 a.m. at a coffee shop because my wife was on summer vacation and she was going on a family vacation for about a week. So she wanted to know whether or not she wanted to go on a second date with me before she went on vacation.
Aw.
So she met me at 7 a.m. at a coffee shop, and that's where we had our first date. Awkward. My mom was there getting coffee at the same time.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my husband, I was a freshman in high school, and I met him in Spanish class. So I was 15, and so we were friends before we started like being boyfriend and girlfriend, but our first date was a coffee shop too. And how it started, he drove me home from a dance, and I said, oh, I could really go for some Starbucks, but they're closed. And then it was the weekend, and Monday morning, he very cheesily said, I haven't stopped thinking about Starbucks since you mentioned it. Would you want to go after school? So like he was really smooth with it.
That is smooth.
So here's my other question. What's the difference between getting coffee and going on a date? Because I also like going to get coffee with people is something that I just do totally platonically with friends if they're like guys or girls. So how do you like draw the line? Because I know for some people, I've talked to some people who think that going out to coffee is getting a date. Is it just whether or not you say it's a date, or how do you kind of determine that?
I think making it very clear and having friends that make it clear. I have a lot of friends who made it clear when I was like, hey, we should get coffee. And they're like, they're like, yeah, let's get coffee. But that's it. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciated that openness, and I was still able to enjoy getting coffee with them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, that's kind of a tough question because as a married person, all the time I'll say to friends, yeah, let's get some coffee, we'll catch up. But if I were to be single right now and a guy were to ask me if I wanted to go get coffee, then I would assume that he's interested, he wants to get to know who I am, and then maybe that'll blossom into we'll go on dates.
Because when I was in college, when I was in high school and college, and now, I had a lot of people who were girls who were friends, but, I was not interested in going out with it all. And some of them, I would just go out to coffee with them because that's what I do with my friends. We hang out at coffee shops. So there were times where there were some people who I think might have gotten that thought, or they thought that I was trying to pursue something. So they kind of wanted to, step back a little bit. And so really be clear with what you think it is. Or if you're wondering, like you were saying, Caleb, be okay saying, hey, cool, let's go just as friends. Or ask them, hey, is this a date? Like, be free to, be open about that and communicate that. So coffee is definitely an idea for one date. What are some other good ideas for whether it's first dates, second dates, anything like that? Like, what's another good date idea, especially for early on in a relationship? Dinner? Okay.
Yep. Movies are great from the beginning because it takes up time without talking to each other. You're spending time together, you're getting comfortable with each other, but you don't have to make awkward conversation. And bowling, because then you can be competitive and get into a fun, we can have fun together and play games. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it's just how it goes with the first date. So whether it's coffee or just getting to know them. I remember my wife asked me, just a basic get to know you question, what are your favorite colors? And I told her they're orange and blue, and she wore an orange and blue dress. So
was it just like a Broncos dress?
No, it was not a Broncos dress.
Is that why your favorite colors are orange and blue? Because that's your favorite team? Or is it the Bears?
Well, the Bears and Broncos are orange and blue, but no,
I'm sensing a pattern.
Have always been my favorite colors, and all of my favorite teams have orange in it. Just so you know. But yeah, anyways,
that's a good point. Really pay attention on that first date because then you can use those clues to do the future dates, and they recognize that, and it shows that you care enough to make things special for them.
Right, and as for competition, mini golf was one of our favorite things to do. It was our second date, mini golf. And then our third date was laser tag. So my wife is very competitive and just she'd never done laser tag. So her friend's birthday was up, and so she invited me to do laser tag with them.
Nice. So one thing I'm thinking about doing I'm always thinking about possible date ideas just 24/7. One idea I had was, have you guys seen those axe throwing places?
Absolutely.
That's a huge thing. Would that be a fun date idea? Because there's a place opening near us really soon that does axe throwing.
Oh yeah, axe throwing.
And I was totally
is
thinking, hey, this would be a really fun date of just getting to throw an axe at a big chunk of wood. So,
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, if that's her thing too. Again, it's one of those get to know you things. If she's like, yeah, I'm not really athletic and I don't enjoy sports or competition, that's probably not the best first date idea to do that.
Okay. Can we talk about some other bad ideas for a first date as well then? Because
would you say Starbucks? Because if somebody asked you to go to Starbucks, what would you do?
I would definitely go. But I would say, hey, could we go this other place instead? Because no, but like partially because like whether it's atmosphere or just stuff I like, if they were clear that it was a date, I would be like, sure, let's just go to Starbucks. But otherwise, I would suggest other places. But when I have a lot of people at our job who are always trying to set me up with people and trying to give me ideas for dating stuff.
Sometimes we even launch a podcast for you.
Sometimes we launch a whole podcast secretly pretending it's about how to adult, but really it's a way to set me up with a girlfriend. No, but I had people suggesting date ideas to me, and some of them, no offense to my coworkers, but they were horrible. One of them said, for a first date, you guys should go up and, drive up to Door County, which is like an hour away from us.
That's
and
way
like,
too serious.
Go on a hike up there and
no.
go back. And this is a first date. Like, it's not maybe like 4 or 5, but not number 1. So what do you guys think? What are some bad ideas for a first date?
Well, that's one. Taking her to
on a
vacation
long drive.
hotspot.
Yeah.
That's a very touristy kind of vacation idea. So don't take them there.
And if it goes poorly, then you have a whole nother hour drive home together just in an awkward car. So really anything where the other person can escape easily if need be. And escape is the wrong word, but like if they need to get out of there, if it's awkward and not going well, set something up where, whether it's, going out for coffee, like, oh, sorry, I got to go, or going to get food, finishing up quickly, like, hey, having something where they can escape, essentially, if it doesn't go well. What else?
I would recommend not bringing them to your parents' house. Do not introduce them to your parents on the first date. That's awkward, and it's just not cool.
So going on a double date with my parents is not a good idea.
No,
not at all.
Okay.
Or talking about your parents the whole time. Like, it's great to bring them up and to show that you love your family and you're a family man and you care, but don't focus on like your parents the whole time or yourself the whole time.
Just start something simple. Just ask them what their parents' names are. Mm-hmm. Like, I asked that. Turned out my wife and our parents have the same name. So both parents, which was a little weird, but like it gave us something to talk about for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
But as for bad date locations, I would say anything on a boat for first dates. Mm-hmm. If you're trapped out on a lake or anywhere like that and it is not going well, then you're stuck out there. So I'd say avoid a boat or anything like that.
And honestly, if you're trying to get to know somebody or even get a feel if it's a person that you would like to date, I think group dates or group activities are the best thing you can do, because then, everyone's there to help break the ice, and yeah.
Also, stand-up comedy events. You don't know their taste in humor, so be very careful, because you just don't know. You might find somebody very funny, and they don't.
What if it's my stand-up comedy that we're going to see?
No.
Is that
no.
I'm just kidding. I
Wait,
don't
do you
stand-up.
have stand-up
No,
comedy?
I don't do stand-up. No, that was a joke. So that could be part of my type 5.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we are running out of time. So Shawna, I do want to ask you, and John, maybe you have some. What are some final thoughts about first dates or just dating in general? I think it'd be great if we do dating in general for another episode, but what's your advice?
Okay, so men, listen very closely.
Okay.
Be on time. Shower and smell nice. Look nice. Pay for the meal. Open her car door and leave your cell phone in the car during the date. Give her your full attention. And I really, honestly, if you ask questions about her, listen and care, John, not saying you don't do those things, but I'm just saying you'll get a second date.
I feel so ill-equipped to give any advice. This is gonna sound weird, but like from the guy's perspective, like to the girls, like don't be weird, if that makes sense. Sorry, that sounds so weird, but like, don't try to be something that you're not. Because I've been on, or try to like put this kind of false version of yourself forward. Like, if you have a different opinion about something, like, fine, that's totally cool to say it. Or, if you, I don't know, example, I went out once with this girl and we went to this place in Chicago, Water Tower Place, which is like on Michigan Avenue or near Michigan Avenue, and I forget. Big like mall type thing. We just kind of went around. We were checking out some different cool shops they had there. And at the end, then we went to this place that had like these waffle donuts, which are the best thing ever. And
I know where you went.
yeah, they're amazing. They're phenomenal. You can attest to that. And so we got some waffle donuts, and she took like a bite, and then she's like, "That's really good. I'll have some more later." And then just didn't eat it. And it was so like, I get that there's a lot of stuff behind that, and there could be a lot of reasons for it. But if it's just like, if you don't want to get waffle donuts, feel free saying, I'm not really, not really in the mood for donuts. Or if you don't want to eat something, that's fine. But like, nothing feels worse than if you buy someone something or like put yourself out for something and then they're like, no thanks,
I want to second you. Yes. Be 100% yourself and real. Don't like dress like someone else. Be who you are. But also recognize that first dates, girls are probably super self-conscious. So her not eating it could have been, I don't want him to stare at me while I'm eating. Like I'm like that. I don't like when people watch me eat. It's awkward.
Yeah, and I totally get that. And that's okay to say, and maybe find another way to say it, but like bring that up before you get in the position where you eat like a couple bites and then put it away and say you're going to have it later. Because then what that looks like to the guy is, this was really dumb and I didn't like this, versus, hey, that sounds really cool. Maybe we could do that some other time. Can we, do something? I don't know. Find another way to do that. If you do feel awkward about that, I totally get it. But find a way to address it other than, being weird about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think my final advice would be, I think it would go for both guys and girls, but it would be just enjoy the moment. Like, don't be thinking about the what ifs, about the future or anything like that. You don't know what could happen. So just enjoy having that conversation. Don't be worried about whether or not she or he is the one after one date. That's so rare and more Hollywood than you would think. So just enjoy that. Don't put any pressure on a second date or even a third date. Long term, just be there, and then also be upfront. One of the most appreciative things that ever happened was after a first date, asking somebody if they'd want to do a second date, if they said no right away. Like if you're feeling like no, like it's okay. Like feelings might be hurt for 10 seconds, but it's really appreciative just to be upfront.
And that no right away feels so much better, because I had a time where I had asked someone out. They said, let me think about it, which I think that she was thinking about it. And then she texted me and was like, hey, are you free to meet later on? And like, I'm like, sure. She's like, cool. Can we meet in 4 hours? And I kind of knew then that it was like, okay, this is probably going to be a no. So I just had to basically wait for 4 hours to be rejected and let down. And that was one of the least fun 4 hours of my life. So
yeah,
if it's a no, and even if you want to just text and say, hey, like, thanks for such and such, if you do think about it and need that time, if you're not able to talk on the phone, over the phone is best, but don't delay it. Don't draw it out. Just be upfront. So yeah, thank you again, you guys, for this advice. I'm going to have to take note of some of this and maybe apply it soon. Hopefully, we'll see. But if you have some other dating advice or other questions about first dates or dating in general, let us know. Go onto our Facebook. You can find us at Welcome to Adulting Podcast, or just go to welcometoadultingpod.com. You can find our Facebook, our Instagram, all of that there. You can also go onto Apple Podcasts, leave us a rating and a review. It would really help you guys, especially, as a newer podcast. Those ratings, those reviews really help to push us up the charts. So,
or just call John at 920 No.
My number is not my number is not a 920 number, so that's going to get you nowhere.
No.
So yeah, share that with us. Share any questions. We'll probably do more episodes on dating, especially because I still have a lot of questions about dating and what you even need to talk about on dates. We didn't even talk about that. So yeah, keep following us for more great dating advice and other really good life advice as well. I want to say thank you to the Family Radio Network. They allowed us to make this show. Really, they're an awesome group that's really helping to produce this show. You can go to thefamily.net. You can find all sorts of other great things there that'll help to give you hope, strength, and encouragement for whatever life stage you're at. And just kind of as we're closing, no matter, if you are married and still needing to, you still need to go on dates, whether you're just starting out dating someone or if you're completely single, it's okay. Cut yourself a little bit of slack because you got this. Bye.